We arrived in Carcassonne late in the afternoon. Once again, we did manage to get stuck in rush hour traffic, but we missed the thousands of day tourists. As you walk the lower city, the old city looms over your head. We took the petite train to the old city. It was a lot better than driving. They have these little trains everywhere. The one in Key West they call the conch train. The outer wall is 2.5 miles long, has 52 towers. The old Roman stonework is visible in some parts of the wall. Legend has it that Charlemagne laid siege to the city. After many days, he assumed that the inhabitants would be starved into defeat. But a clever woman, Madame Carcasse, had a great idea. She collected the last scraps of food available and fed them to the last pig available. Then she threw the fat pig over the wall to Charlemagne's soldiers. The soldiers stared in disbelief at the fat pig. They retreated from their siege, believing that people who still had a fat pig after many days of siege would never be starved into submission. The lady was a hero, and the city got a new name, Carcassonne. Carcassonne. The legend is probably just that, but it makes an interesting story. This is the Narbonne Gate. Could this be the famous Madame Carcasse? Unlike 500 years ago, the streets are lined with shops for anything a tourist would possibly want, and many things that he doesn't want. In the mid-19th century, a massive restoration effort was undertaken at La Cité. The restorers used slate for the roofs of the buildings, whereas tile would have been used originally. The slopes of the roofs would not have been so great due to the lack of snow in this area of France. I did this little drawing on my iPod to show how the roofs should look. The village well provides a common water source. The moat still exists, but like most moats, it never held water. The moat made it impossible to tunnel into the castle. Here's the moat from another view. It also kept siege engines from getting too close to the castle walls. See the holes around the towers under the windows? These would have held support beams for the walkway around the tower. One of these towers was known as the Tower of Inquisition during the 13th century. The onset of evening is a great time for photographs. The Church of Saint Nazaire is both Romanesque and Gothic in features, but religious services are no longer held here. These stone-paved streets have changed little in hundreds of years. This is quite a formidable gate. The castle was used in the filming of the 1981 Kevin Costner movie, Hood Prince of Thieves. We had dinner of couchelet. It's like a white bean casserole with goose before walking back to our hotel in the lower city. This fortress was once a Cathar stronghold. The Cathars were Christians who followed the teachings of the disciple John. Hated by both the French Catholics and the Italian Catholics of the Vatican, they were annihilated, executed to the last man. The Cathars were vegetarians, believing in reincarnation. I guess that makes sense. You wouldn't want to eat an animal who was a reincarnated ancestor. The French do a great job of illuminating their national treasures at night. During festival times, this fortress would have been illuminated by fireworks. Au revoir.